All right, folks, welcome back to my channel, to your favorite Eagle. I'm just going to show you a quick startup on the F-15, a proper startup. So this is not going to take like 60 seconds. It's not an emergency, but we do have an operation to go to. So after doing a quick walk around our jet, we looked at the weapon munitions. So we go right to left, counterclockwise. Clockwise, starting from the right side, and just go kind of like left, and check the overall aircraft, check the pins, check the bit of tubes, laser codes, everything. We're back here in the cockpit, and well, just did the startup. So starting off with our mics, because we want to keep our mics on and start talking to our ground crew. We're going to turn the anti-collision lights, which are just under the throttle quadrant, and then we move to the tank transfer. So we do have two bags on our wings. That means that we're going to stop transfer in the confrontal tanks and the center tanks as well, and we're going to keep the transfer on the wings. So as you notice, like right here, these two are stop transfer. If we had just a center bag, then I would just stop transferring the confrontal tanks and I'll keep the center bag, right? But we have two bags on the wing, so I'm stopping this. Inlets, auto cast switch is on. Let's move this around. So we got the left and right generator switches on. Left and right control switches on. Left engine and right engine master switches. We got the JFS on, and for the oxygen on PPG. And then the air conditioning was the air conditioning on auto. That's it. At this point, we can pull the jet starter. We're going to be looking for that green light that should appear in a second. There it is. I know it's barely seen because it's sunny. And start with number 2. So we got number 2 starting. Also, we'll be looking for the engine panel right here going live, 18%. Technically, after 18%, you can move. Oops, my bad. You can move the right throttle to idle position after 22% or 18 or 22%. Some different air forces have different guidelines to their F-15s on the checklist. Right, so I was waiting for the AMAT test fire to be completed. Now we're going to uncage the attitude indicator. We're going to set our altimeter, which I believe is 3001. And our bingo fuel, we're going to get about 5,000 pounds of fuel, the warning on the fuel right here. Once we're done with the standby instruments, that's where we're going to start working on the UFC. So we're going to pull all the volume knobs to max. We're going to brighten up our UFC, the HUD as well. There we go. We can start turning on the MCDUs and the bottom MCD right there. We're going to program our MCDs. So I like to have my air-to-air radar for the air-to-ground mode in a second. I'll show you. And then the T-pod. So I'm going to use air-to-air on the air-to-air radar mode, and then air-to-ground mode on the T-pod. Now, because we're carrying one GBU-31, which is GPS guided, we're gonna need to have the smart weapons. So here, I'm gonna program the twos, the ornament page, and the smart weapons. On the smart weapons, we're gonna use the air-to-ground mode, and then air-to-air mode on the twos. So once we're in the air-to-air mode, we're gonna have the twos here, the air-to-air radar. All right, we don't need to program the ornament. But once we use the castle switch right, we can just switch between the screens and we can switch to the armament page if we need to. On the bottom page, first we're going to check the armament. So first we're going to go to air armament, air to ground, and make sure that our loadout is correct. So we need to load the aircraft with the current munitions that we're taking. So we're going to go back to the menu. So we're going to press PB11 twice to get to that main menu, and we're going to go to armament and then air to ground load, and we're going to select, we're going to step to the weapons we're carrying. So we're carrying the GBU 12s, GBU 12s, 500 pounds, they're there. 12 Charlies, and we're gonna select them right here to these two stations, and we're gonna do traffic load, TCFT load. There we go. All right, go back to the menu, go back to the ground. Let's select the program. So we're selecting first program, so program number 1 for the GBU 12s. We're gonna use auto mode, we're gonna use step, and we're gonna use nose and tail fusing. Just very simple. We're gonna click program number 2 on the center, GBU 31, the GPS. Here we're gonna use direct because we want to be at least in the zone or in range, not exactly above the target to drop the GPU, right? So we're going to use direct, step, nose and tail fusing, and back to the menu. Click again menu, and now let's program the bottom MCB. So program, we're going to use TSD for the map, we're going to use 2s, and we're going to use the HA size. So here I'm going to use on the air-to-air mode the TSD so we can see where we're flying. And once we're in the air-to-ground mode, I want to see the 2. So I want to see the RWR in the air-to-ground mode to see if we have any incoming threats. That's it. MCBs are programmed. So if I press castle switch up, I can switch between the air-to-ground, air-to-air, air-to-ground, air-to-air mode. Great. Let's configure the UFC, right? So the law at 250, so we'll use low altitude warning at 100 feet, actually even 50 because we're going to be flying over water. So 50 is more than enough. TACAN on, we can set that up later. Or we can just pick program. IFF mode, mode Charlie. Terrain following radar is off. 4-bar scanning, 2 is fine. So we're going to keep that on. Press data. We want to see our AGL above, ASL above sea level altitude as well. Now we got frequencies, so I'm going to look at my new board here, and I'm going to just kind of go through all these pages on my new board, and I'm going to look at Interlick. So we are Interlick. First, let's go back here for a second. So in our case, we've got CTAF 251 right here, but we've got to switch to AM mode. So we click again here. Oops. 1 second. 251. There we go. I cleared that. Press that button again. Switch to AM mode. And then on the left, we're going to switch to air-to-air comms 254. There we go. All right, so we got our frequency set. Now, we're set here for now. The waypoint, I'll get to that in a second. If you don't have comms directing you to, you see in the top right corner, so it says
Whiskey 2-1 on cap patrol, 60 miles out from normal, any easy target.
That's the CTAF. If you don't have comms, you'll have to select, set up a waypoint. You know what? Let me show that to you actually in a second. Hold on. So our mission is that ship mission right here. So I'm going to press Alt on my keyboard and left mouse button. And then the coordinates pop up, right? So when I go back to my F1 screen, I can select this button and I'll do, let's say, 5 Bravo. and that's a new waypoint that's not stored in my database, and I'm gonna put the coordinates. So I got the lat long in minutes, so I'm gonna go with the lat shift November, or shift number 2 for November for N, north 3610 412, and then I'll go with the east, so I'll go shift 0, oops, not shift, that's not what I meant, 0, hold on, shift echo, there you go, 0 33 38 178. Set. Now we need to put the elevation. The elevation is 0 because it's water, so we're targeting ships, so we're just gonna keep that at 0, but if there was elevation like 200 feet, we'll put just 200 feet. We can also put the MGRS grid. If we don't, let's say the JTAC or the let's say AWACS will give you MGRS coordinates.
Whiskey 2-1, 50 miles out from MiG-29.
We're gonna go UTM, and then here we can technically set up the coordinates, but I'll do a separate video for that. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the menu. We have everything set up, data screen. Let's set up the next the other instruments. So train following radar on standby, radar altitude on, radar on standby. INS, we're gonna select align, navigation and flare standby. JTIDs are normal. Technically right now we have to wait and not really touch anything in the cockpit for the INS to align properly. This is the proper way of waiting for the INS to align. You noticed I only turned on the second engine, engine number 2, not engine number 1, and the reason behind it, while we're prepping the whole aircraft, we don't want to burn more fuel. So once everything is prepped, I'm going to start, before the taxi, I'm going to turn on engine number 1. So let's just wait. If you look at the HUD, bottom right corner of the HUD, it says GC no taxi, and on the right NCD, you can see that thing, the arrow kind of spinning. That means that the INS is currently aligning with the exact GPS coordinates of my airplane on the planet Earth, pretty much. There we go. So it is aligned. So we got GC 13.7. That means that's it. Our INS is aligned. So on the left side here, we'll just switch it from align to nav. That's it. Okay, nav. Now let's go set up the WYSO seat for a second. WYSO seat, same thing. Standby indicators. 3001 on the altimeter. And okay. Arm the seat belt. Standby on the targeting pod. Laser is not armed. ICS and RWR combat mode. Out on the ICS. Turn on the mic to speak to our WYSO guy. Same thing with the oxygen to PBG. Turning the ICS and selecting the countermeasures mode to semi-auto or manual. That depends on you. Turn on the brightness of that UFC. Turn on all the screens for the sake of that WYSO guy. There we go, and we can technically switch back to our main cockpit. Now, once everything's aligned, once we're ready to taxi, let's just make sure that we can start turning on engine. So now we can actually turn on number 1. Engine number 1. So I just lifted that finger there. Look at the engine indicator right here. Once it's past 18%, we can go engine throttle to idle position. That's 26%. Is there another AMAT fire test?
Warning, AMAT fire. Warning, engine fire left. Warning, engine fire left. Warning, engine fire right. Warning, engine fire right. AB burn through left. AB burn
Whiskey 2-1,
left.
box 3,
AB
MiG-29.
burn through right. AB burn through right.
Okay, left generator light illuminated, the other lights illuminated as well. Looks like we got a very good start. I'm communicating back to the ground crew and saying, hey guys, we got all green. Good start. We can switch back here to the transfers, start them to norm.
Splash MiG-29.
Okay, we can start closing the canopy. be closed. Now it's locked. We can arm the seat. We can drop the flaps. So the flaps button on the throttle quadrant is actually on the left side of the throttle quadrant. It's kind of hidden. It's hard to see. So flaps are green. And let's just do a flight control test. So flight controls, see they're all working. Let's pull up the speed brake, see everything is working. Working on the left side, all green. Set the trim for takeoff. Comm to the ground crew. Ask them to remove the wheel chocks. Ground crew wheel chocks removed.
Chief, remove the wheel chocks.
Copy. Wheel chocks are now removed.
Wheel chocks are now removed and we're ready to taxi, folks. So just not forget to turn on the taxi lights like this and off we go. We're pretty much set. So thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next video.